This remote trail in southern Utah is considered one of the top backpacking destinations in the world. Coyote Gulch, from all the pictures I've seen, is an outdoor oasis. But I want to see if Coyote Gulch is worth all the extra obstacles that you need to overcome compared to some other top backpacking destinations. The trail is really remote. It's 6 hours from any major city to get here, and then you're going an hour plus down a dirt road. In addition to the remoteness, we're also going to be dealing with potential rain tonight, and with that comes flash flooding because we're going to be in canyons. We're also going to be getting really wet. I think we're going to be doing lots of watercourse crossings, walking through really cold water. And then to top it all off, in this area, you can't leave any sort of human refuse around. So you have to be using wag bags. You're pooping into a bag, and then you're carrying that bag with your poop in it back to the trailhead in order to dispose of it. So tonight we're going to be continuing down this canyon to a place called Jacob Hamlin Arch. I'm pretty stoked about it. Apparently it's just this giant rock cathedral that's very epic. Another aspect slash obstacle for this trip is going to be temperature. Even though we're in the desert and temperatures are pretty warm during the day, tonight it's forecast to get down to freezing or maybe below, and I'm a little bit skeptical on whether my sleep system can handle that. Once we get to camp, I'll share with you my sleep system as well as some of the other gear that I brought with me on this trip. So we made it to Jacob Hamlin Arch. Pretty spectacular. What's really cool is that we're in this cathedral type rock formation, and my tent over there, I'm using the Tiger Wall UL2P on this trip, is in the rain. And then Steven's tent, the Plex Solo, is out of the rain. So there's a line kind of in between our tents where the cavern is protecting us. And we'll kind of try and get a good look at that because it's super cool. So we're set up right over there. There's the arch, and then big cavern over top of us that's protecting us from the rain. With all those water crossings, my feet are soaked. I'm pretty wet from the rain, and that's got me a little bit worried. I'm really hoping that temperatures don't get too low tonight because the sleep system that I have is not super warm. Part of it's pretty warm, but the other part is not. Let's go take a look. So for my pillow, I'm using the Trekology 2.0, pretty standard for me, super comfy pillow. And then I have the Katabatic 22 quilt. This thing I've used before, really warm, nice and toasty. But then the weak point is this sleeping pad. This is the Big Agnes Q-Core Deluxe, and it's supposed to have an R value of 4.2, but the times I've had it out just hasn't kept me warm, and I'm really hoping that it does the job tonight. We'll see. The ground is nice and dry, which should help. It stopped raining, but it's starting to cool off. I'm gonna eat dinner, nothing special today, but tomorrow I have something that I made up and could be really delicious or terrible. I'll share that with you, as well as some of the cook system that I brought with me when we get to the next campsite, which should be epic. I was chatting with someone as they walked by our campsite, and they said everything from here for the rest of the trail is gonna be pretty epic with waterfalls and caves and more arches. So really looking forward to tomorrow and the next day. Good morning. I slept really well last night. Did not wake up until it started getting a little bit colder, and then I woke up just a little bit and then went back to sleep. I could feel the cold coming up through the sleeping pad. So as it started approaching zero, that's when the sleeping pad really started to not keep me warm as much as I'd like it to. So it's that time in the morning, things have started to get moving, and I'm gonna have to go poop into this bag because on this trail you need to carry all of your poop, toilet paper, everything out with you. One of the unfortunate things with the wag bag, other than the fact that you're pooping into a bag, is that normally as you eat the food in your food bag, the weight in your pack decreases, but when you're having to carry out your own poop, that's just not the case. So we're all packed up, ready to go. By all accounts, everything from here on is gonna be pretty epic. Like I mentioned yesterday, waterfalls, arches, caves, caverns, really excited to explore and hoping to find a really cool campsite for tonight. The Jacob Hamlin spot was really cool. I think we're gonna be walking through a lot of water today, and both Steven and my feet are already a little bit cold because our shoes and socks were wet from yesterday. So hopefully that doesn't lead to any issues. I'm also getting little whiffs of poop every once in a while coming from my pack. I'm not sure if that's like phantom poop smell. You guys let me know in the comments if that is a real thing, if it's all in my mind, or if I just didn't seal my Ziploc bag well enough. We've been walking through some of this shrub and treed area, but you guys let me know in the comments if the highlights that we've seen so far are epic. And a little bit further, we're gonna be hitting our campsite, and we just passed some people who told us that they stayed there last night and it was the most epic campsite they've ever stayed at. So we have some pretty high hopes for it. So we were coming up the Coyote Gulch drainage, and then we hit the confluence with the Escalante. The Escalante is a much bigger river and it's deep, and we've kind of hit the wall right here where we're gonna have to cross the river, and it's looking pretty deep. We're not sure how deep, we're not sure how soft the mud is underneath, and in order to decide whether we should try it or not, we're gonna flip a coin.
Tails we stay?
Heads we go, tails we stay.
Oh.
So in case you guys miss it, that was heads. So that was heads we go. So Steven's gonna do a test run, see how deep it is. Not bad at all, not bad at all. We made it to Steven's Arch, had to do a relatively deep river crossing of the Escalante. The arch is actually named after Steven that I'm with right here. That's why I chose to come on this trip with him. We're gonna fill up on some more, then head back to our camp for the night, and I'll share with you guys some of the gear I brought for camp once we get there. So I promised I'd share with you guys some of the gear I'm using for cooking and camp life. For my stove, I'm using the Soto Windmaster stove. This is a new stove for me that I'm testing out. You guys are gonna have to wait until my review comes out on that. I'm using a 750 milliliter Toaks titanium pot in order to boil water for my meals. And inside here, I have something that I really like. I've been enjoying this a lot. And this is a titanium double-walled mug. So it fits right inside the 750 milliliter pot. And it's really nice for a nice hot beverage when it's a little bit colder out. Obviously, I'm using a pink titanium spoon. It's the best spoon that you can get out there and just makes all the meals taste a whole lot better. My dinner tonight is something that I've never seen before, and I'm a little bit excited and apprehensive to try out, and what I'm calling it is a bean bomb. So what it entails is a little bit of dehydrated beans. So this is Southwest beans right here. And then I have ramen that I'm gonna be making as well, and I'm gonna be mixing that together. Similar to a ramen bomb, which is mashed potatoes and ramen, bean bomb could make for an interesting night. I set up my tent a little bit further from Steven's just so I don't disturb him in case this goes south. Good morning, guys. If you're wondering how much poo I made over the last 3 days, this is how much. Good thing we're not here for another couple days, otherwise I'd be filling up that freezer bag. Steve and I, we're just getting packed up. We're gonna head back down the trail to the car. If you guys are interested in my other favorite backpacking trips ever, go check out this playlist. I'm gonna keep it updated with my top 5 to 10 favorite trips. That's gonna include things like Tour de Mont Blanc once I get out there, West Coast Trail, and a whole bunch of other awesome epic trips.